music off. A moment. I wanted to be able to offer some encouragement and certainly in a challenging year where devastation is hit from health to death to financial, there's been so much disruption. And then at the same time, disruption in the market. We have seen the verge of the whole world shifted in front of our eyes. It went from fiat relatively quickly to crypto, unemployment in its highest ever seen in almost any country around the world, and even businesses shutting down. There's been so much. So I want to offer a Christmas message, as I think it's terribly important to do, and on this concept or this topic of overcoming the challenges of 2020. And on behalf of myself and all my family, Merry Christmas and lots of love to each of you. I'm fortunate enough today that to be here. I just had a group workover yesterday. I had to have a procedure done, and I'm reminded about the fragility, how fragile life is itself, and just the very things that we have and who we are. And just in a world of gratefulness, I want to share with you today this message, this Christmas message on Christmas Eve. So let's go ahead and take a look together. Overcoming the challenges of 2020. What's it mean? How do we do it? I've always been an overcomer in high school, but I don't know what to do now as my family's been turned upside down. What do I do? I'm fighting in a world I never had to fight in before. All of a sudden, as we look around the world, the number 2 cause of death for teens is suicide, and divorce, not just in America, but around the world at an all-time high because everyone's stuck at home together. And more than ever, there is a consistent lack of commitment to what we want out of life. And it's showing up in everybody's business where instead of having commitment, it is just motion, where the average person will commit to the desire, but not commit to the work. And there's just so much here. So let's talk about overcoming the challenges of 2020 together. We're going to begin with looking at the fundamentals of overcoming. The fundamentals of overcoming. There are only a few fundamentals to anything. But if we look at the fundamentals of overcoming, a lot of it can be seen in the very word itself, right? Over and then coming. There's some great meaning there, and I think it's important for us to look at it so that it can revolutionize how we handle the forthcoming year and the remainder of this one. Remainder, Dwayne, there's only a week left. Yeah, there's a lot to be done in a week, right, when you are an overcomer. A lot can be done in a day when you're an overcomer, and I want to be able to demonstrate that here today as we enjoy this Christmas Eve. It's terribly important that you understand this. We're going to get past the word over. As we look at the word over, we've got to ask ourselves these questions. So I think of it like this. What in your personal business or life or work, what in your personal business life do you go over and above the standard? What is it? What do you go over as we look at this idea of going above the standard? So as we look at that, do you do what's expected? Or not even that? And I've found that it's not very common as it was, let's say, 50, 60 years ago, to give your all, go all out in everything you do. In most cases, we live in a day that if there's a little resistance, we usually just shift and go the other way or go a different way. And it's interesting to say that in looking at this idea of overcoming, if you don't go over and above the standard expectation that everyone else does, it's not likely you're an overcomer. It's not likely you will overcome in the areas in which you need to. Forget about the challenges of 2020, anything in your life. So as we look at this on Christmas Eve of 2020, one of the most devastating years of all time, right, of recorded history anyway. If you can't be an overcomer and do over and above the simple things of life, there's no way you'll do it with the challenging things of life. I ask, or I say, that you can do more, clearly. Someone asks you, could you stop and do this for me? Do you just do what's asked, or do you go over and above in anything in your life? We know the story. We know that many get used to going over and above of the related to things that have no substance, right? Things that have no importance. We go over and above with our favorite sports teams. We go over and above with the things of little or no substance at all, our style. We're so into the passions of what we drive, we'll go all out for the automobile. We'll go all out and over and above for our hair. We will, when it comes to our business or things in our personal life, we just do the standard. And we don't know why we don't have overcoming in the financial side of our lives. We don't know why there's no overcoming in the health side of our life. It's amazing when we're more committed to a card game or more committed to a holiday, more committed to volunteering at a voting booth than we are our own life. No wonder we overcome in areas that don't have the substance needed to live our purpose. But I don't want to stop there because it's Christmas time. I want to be on a positive note. I want you to be encouraged that overcoming is for you too. Overcoming in areas in which most would run is for you. Overcoming in an area where most would give up is also for you. It's not just for the few, it's for you too. If you do believe it's for you too, I would love for you to go ahead and type in the number 2 right inside, right here, wherever you're watching this. I want you to see that it's also for you and be encouraged. But you got to note, the second part of the word has to be looked at before you can overcome. I want you to be encouraged. Don't get too excited if you really understand this word over. And you get to the point you realize when you look at your life, when it comes to your business, you've never gone over. When it comes to your spiritual life, you've never gone over and above. When it's come to your health life, you never go over and above. It's no wonder you're not overcoming. That's an easy one to look at. But we need to do it. We need to go over and above. Let's become a generation who just doesn't do only what's expected of us. And it takes a lot of conditioning to get to that point of our life. Somewhere along the lines, we stop measuring. We stop measuring when kids are playing sports. We tell them, don't keep points. Let's just have fun. There's no real assertive point to our life where we go all out. You see, when you do measure and you do keep score, you will work hard to reach it. But you see, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. So it's important to actually set goals in front of us so we can measure. That way we know if we're not going over and above, where we're not giving all of ourselves. But let's look at the word coming. Coming, moving towards your purpose. Coming, the motion of coming. Coming is not a state of being verb, right? It is movement. It is going somewhere, right? If you're coming to me, you are moving towards me. If I'm your purpose and you're coming, right? You're moving toward me. It's so sad when we ask the question if you're moving. Most of you have movement in the wrong part of your life, personally and business-wise. Therefore, it's difficult and not even possible to be an overcomer. As we look at all that God has provided us in health, life, and strength, we've become poor stewards. We've become stewards who don't give more than is asked. We don't do more than is needed. And we don't understand why we have a poor return, a poor outcome. Are you moving? Are you moving forward? Right here, Christmas Eve, 2020. Are you moving forward at all? Do you have any motion? I'm here to encourage you that if you don't, get moving. Light a fire under your bottom and get moving. Well, how am I going to get moving? What do you mean by this, Dwayne? I'm glad you've asked. But I can tell you, if you're only watching everyone else, you're not moving. If you're watching people on television live their dreams while you're at home living a nightmare, you're not moving. If you're watching leaders and always talking about them, but you're not doing anything yourself in your business, you're not moving. You're just watching. If, in fact, you are always surfing. You spend hours a day watching everyone else in their projected success. You're not moving. You're watching. You know, they say in the old ancient Chinese proverb, for he who thinks he's leading and no one is following, he's only taking a walk. Well, I'm here to tell you that he who think he's coming or going or moving, right? And they're only watching, right? They are only standing still. But let's go ahead and look a little further. Are you moving off the path? Maybe you are moving, but not towards your purpose, but only towards everyone else's. Maybe you're moving, but not towards your purpose. Maybe you're just moving in circles. Maybe you're moving not towards your purpose, but you're moving in every direction in which the market goes. You can't really find home. You can't find yourself in a place that you can commit. You just keep getting taken off the path. Your purpose is this way, and you go this way and 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 this way, following everyone else this way and this way toward their purpose, but never establishing your own. Oh my goodness. No wonder it's so hard to overcome, Dwayne. I couldn't agree more. As my southern friends would say, I couldn't believe more. Well, to be an overcomer, to be overcoming, you must be coming, moving towards your purpose. Following others to their purpose is not always coming. Sometimes someone who has a purpose similar to yours and you're learning from them. I'm a big believer in development. And I want to learn everything about people who've already been where I'm going, right? They've already been where I'm going. They're not my equal. They're not where I already am, right? That's not following at all, right? That's going in circles. But I want to follow people who've already been where I'm going and done what I'm trying to do, and so that I can be coming, right? But what happens often is we get people who may talk louder or have a lot of things happening, and so we just keep following them to nowhere. We look around, they're not really successful, they're just making a lot of noise, and we're just doing all this stuff. I'm here to tell you that's off of your path. Let's hit your path. And if you're going to be follow someone who's already where you're trying to go and done what you're trying to do, and you can get closer so you can be coming. Just don't get off your path. When you get to a point when you've already reached that, then you find others and keep doing it. But do not follow others to where you're falling yourself off the path. Stay on the path to your purpose. What else? Well, watching everyone else fight for their lives is not coming at all. It's just not. It's a good thing to watch, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You see, it's great to watch everyone else. Surf the internet, looking at all these people. Did you see so-and-so just joined another company? Hey, did you see so-and-so? They just made $280,000 last month. Hey, did you see? You watch others so much that you stop moving. What are you going to do? What is your roadmap? You too have importance. You also have importance. Not just everybody you're looking at. You have a purpose. There are things for you that are out here related to your health, your spiritual well-being, your financial, whether your business and other things, your family. What about you? Watching everyone else cannot be the answer. Now, certainly you can watch and learn while you're moving every day of the week. But to watch and do nothing, shame on any of us to do that. Here's something else. Seeking comfort, sympathy, and rescue more than you seek effort and work and production is not coming. Who's going to do something for me? Nobody ever does nothing for me. Who's going to help me? Could you just do it? I'll get started in business if you pay for it for me. Could you do this for me? Could you give me someone? I have 24 hours a day too, but instead of me learning how to do it, I just want you to do it for me. Will you log into the account, do it all the work for me, right? Could you do mine? I've got 4 new people related to my business. Would you do the work for me? You just do a Zoom for them for me? I'm here to tell you, seeking comfort and sympathy and rescue is not a part of the recipe of being an overcomer. Your movement must be as such that if no one rescues, if no one offers comfort, that you are making progress regardless. No matter what, you'll be making progress because of your forward motion. It's terribly important. This Christmas, believe it or not, or as they call real talk, right? Real talk is this. You can do all things. It's Christmas. Christmas, like no matter what you believe in, right? The whole idea of Christmas, now for you, if all it is a lot of shopping, that's fine. That's your thing. Christmas is about Christ's birth. The original overcomer, overcoming lots of things. And I don't want to make this a talk where you won't apply it because of your own beliefs. It's not about that. This is just about applying the principles that God put in our world for all of us to use. You have a purpose, you're important, and you matter. But you have to start living like it yourself first. You have to start living like it. You have purpose, you have meaning, you have value. Watching everyone else, doing nothing yourself, and never going over and above in things that are important, and always going over and above the things that don't matter is not the solution. When are you coming to grips with it? Well, I'm going to tell you something. The best thing you can do in preparation for 2021 is not waiting until 2021 to create these, what they call resolutions that last a month or two. You can commit now to being a person who is willing to overcome, daring to overcome, because you won't stop moving. Because you will always go over and above in things of your life that matter. Remember, life's but a vapor. If you don't believe me, just look back. It seems like only yesterday you were 12 or 13. Life moves so fast, and if you're not moving, and if you're not going over and above, you will not see the progress. You will ask yourself over and over in discomfort, why am I even here? What does my life matter? To avoid that from happening, let's together give it purpose. Let's encourage each other as we move in that direction. Let's remember, it's not about the bells and whistles. My heart breaks for many of you. Every month, you have to decide which of the new things you're going to jump on, because all you are is jumping off of your path. Others of you, you continue to follow the rest of the sheep off the cliff because everybody else is doing it. I got to do it. One of the things that happens when you become an overcomer is you stand out. You're different. Everyone says right, but you can see left clearly as a part of your purpose. So you've got to get to a point where you can do that. One of the best ways to do it is develop yourself. Now, start working it now. What can you learn? Instead of seeking rescue and help, find out how. Some of you didn't know that selling is a good thing. Learn how to do it rather than seeking, I want to do something that doesn't require it. That's not smart. The reason that everybody that does that has to always start over is because they're going around the issue. The issue is you are not coming. You are not becoming. So therefore, you can't overcome it. I had to one day overcome the fact that I couldn't sell. I had to overcome the fact that I was not comfortable with my voice or my accent. I had to overcome it and begin to do conference calls. I had to begin to do webinars at the time. I had to overcome many things, just as you did. I'm fortunate enough that I had lots of practice, whereas I had over 53 surgeries and I was transfusion dependent. I lived a life where I was forced to overcome. Don't let it be that you have to be forced to overcome to overcome. Let 2021 be the year that you pivot. You put yourself and your family in position, the greatest overcoming ever in the history of your lives, so that you can be ready for the challenges that will come. Certainly with a central core focus of being purposeful and living by principle. You deserve it. This is Dwayne Golden. Merry Christmas to each of you. Thank you for being valued subscribers to any of our operation. I send my love on behalf of the entire Ingresso Cybernetico family. God bless you. Take care.